Hello, I'm Jason from official LOBG, and this is Open Beta. Cue intro. So yeah, as I said before, I'm Jason from official LOBG. This is our first podcast of
Woo!
Open
Yeah.
Beta.
Podcast. Ben here.
Right,
Hello.
first, I'm here with Ben
Yeah. Hello.
to discuss some gaming stuff. The date is the 18th.
Let's go for
November.
gaming related.
Related. The date is the 18th of November 2013. The time is 8:15 GMT. So
And you're
don't
not a
judge us.
newsreader.
So don't judge us if anything's out of date by the time you're
Like-
watching this.
This will be uploaded in 2032.
2032.
We've
some
got an
things
absolute
to talk
raft
about.
of stuff to talk about.
Firstly, about what Open Beta will be about. So this is obviously the name of the podcast. Podcast will aim to make it a monthly thing.
Unless you really like it, in which case I may switch it to bi-weekly, but hey.
Bi-weekly. That actually means twice a week. So
Does it?
yeah, fortnightly. You mean?
Shit. Oh yeah, that's what I
But
meant.
anyway, so we'll just be
You're not
trying.
getting that many episodes.
We'll just be trying to discuss some of the recent gaming news at the time of recording,
And also things that piss me off, that they will come up
yeah, we'll
quite
probably
frequently. We've got one today, so
we'll probably
spoilers.
end up rambling a bit. They do. We'll try and keep it not too long, probably within an hour. But yeah,
So,
just
sit back.
and
We just said that at the
relax.
same time.
Yeah.
Make sure you got a cup of tea, and yeah, we shall.
Just make sure
inform
you're
you.
playing a game or something, because there isn't going to really be anything interesting.
On screen. Yeah. Have pictures like this. Insert picture here, and this. Insert another picture.
All right, so
Have
first
fun
topic.
editing that one.
First topic of discussion. The PlayStation 4 released, or when was it?
It's last Friday,
North America released
15th November.
15th November in North America, and
North
hasn't yet
America.
been released elsewhere.
It'll be 29th
So-
of November. So not this
29th
Friday, but next
November.
Friday.
So it was released last Friday, yeah. Okay, cool. That makes it easy that all the consoles released on Fridays. That makes me happy. Okay, so PS4 sold 1 million copies in its first day.
24
in North
hours.
America.
I was
Well, 24 hours, yeah.
surprised that, to the point where they now
I
have
mean,
no
that's-
stock left.
That's the biggest console launch ever, apparently. So
imagine the
I mean,
money
I
you
guess
get
we'll
from
see. I guess we'll see how the Xbox One deals with that. It'll probably be larger numbers on day one because obviously it's global compared to only in North America, which struck me as a bit odd because I mean, you think about it, the amount of people that live just in the USA, not counting Canada or whatever, there's like over 300 million people living in USA alone. Canada, there's I'm not entirely sure on the population of Canada. It's probably
I've
pretty
never
high.
really
I'd
got
say 100 million.
I've never really got localized releases because it used to happen with Nintendo a lot. They'd always release it in Japan first.
I get that.
I can understand why
it's
Sony are doing
relative
it because
to that.
Sony
So it's
Online
sort of
Entertainment
like the,
is America, but hey.
I sort of get why Nintendo did Japan only first
Yeah.
because a majority of the games are made in Japanese, so then they have to spend the time translating. It's like with Pokemon. They
Yeah.
come out like a year or two in advance because the translation. But what I was going to say is like there's probably about 400 million people in North America. I'm not sure if Mexico counts as North America as well. I'm not sure where they stand.
I think
the
that's usually
continental
central. I think
front.
that usually gets
Right.
classed as.
Okay.
I can think
But,
of one reason why they do it, and that would be just to spread out the amount of stock they have. Because if you think you order a load of stock in for your first release, and then you've got a 2-week break where you can get your second load of stock in, so you're not sold out on the first day of launch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
hey,
I mean,
they say
thing
they're
that sort
sold
of
out. So.
concerns me- the thing that concerns me, over about 400 million people, they sold 1 million. Which, yeah, you think about it, that's 1 in 400 people. But
Yeah.
for the launch of the next generation of consoles, that doesn't seem
But then not
to
everybody's
be
a gamer, though, are
a
they?
lot. No, not everyone's a gamer, and 1 in 400 is still a massive amount. But the
Yeah.
launch of the next generation of consoles, I'm surprised that they didn't sell more.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm aware a million is still a lot. I mean, that's what $400 million turnover in 24 hours at least. I mean, it's obviously going to be more than a million.
Sort of helps when they've been like losing,
two or something.
not been making any profit this year.
No,
but I can only think of one major reason why people haven't bought into the PS4, and I think they didn't have the best range of launch titles. Put it that way. I mean, they had. I mean, exclusive-wise, they had what? Killzone Shadowfall, Knack. Not massively.
What is Knack? I'm not even aware what Knack is.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and make a comparison. Do you remember Crash Bandicoot?
Yes, Crash Bandicoot. That was a pretty good game, actually.
I used to love them when I was a little kid.
Made by Naughty Dog, same devs that make Uncharted, I do believe.
Yeah.
Okay, I've just got a list of some of the day one titles for PS4 on here.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's like Battlefield 4,
that's not exclusive though, is it?
No, I'm just looking at launch titles here.
Yeah. Drive Club, that was one. That was one I remember. I've played that at Eurogamer, and
Drive
Club,
that's
good.
Not on the list.
It's on the list in front of me.
Is it? We've got different lists, evidently.
Whoa!
Don't listen to us. But yeah, I can see if you're a big Killzone fan, then you'd probably get it for that, because there are some people that really like Killzone. I never really got into it when I had my PS3. I'll be honest. I was thinking about it, but I didn't. Drive Club's a launch window game. It's not a day one game, by the looks of it.
Ah, right. Going back to your comparison to Naughty Dog making Uncharted, I think they have a relation to Mark Kearney, because he made Knack, or had a big influence in Knack, as well as Crash Bandicoot. So I think there's the big link there. Apart from that, though, I think this is the issue. They don't have a massive range of exclusives on day one. I mean, yes, you can say they've got some decent launch titles. You've got Assassin's Creed 4, you've got Need for Speed Rivals, that's for launch. Call
Obviously, Battlefield and COD, those were real in.
FIFA 14.
FIFA, yeah.
We've got...
FIFA's predominantly Xbox now, isn't it?
Yeah, we've also got some American name stuff. We've got NBA 2K14, made in NFL 25.
I was just about to bring those up, actually.
Yeah. NBA Live 14. And also there's some younger stuff.
Rivals.
Yep, we've got that.
Rivals. That's exclusive for a week.
So let's go for a mildly exclusive on that one. But then, yeah, I mean, interesting actually. Have you heard about the technical difficulties that PS4 have been having?
Yes, the as I've called it, the red line of death, which I've seen some pictures of on our gaming on Reddit. Everyone check that out if you don't already.
He's obsessed with Reddit.
Obsessed. But I've seen some contrasting figures to do with the red line of death. Sorry, not red ring. That's 360. So people I've seen it range from 0.4% of them redlining to 3%. So that's quite the contrast, and that works out at like the bare minimum. If they literally sold 1 million of those consoles, that works from 4,000 to 30,000.
We should stress that statistically. That's going by a statistic average, not that happened.
Yeah, but I mean, they've said you're not going to be able to get a replacement console until next year, basically.
Because they're out. Interestingly, I did find yours calling it the red line of death. I found whilst I was browsing many news website, Product Reviews Net posted something on the PS4 blinking red light.
Right. And
they believe, or what Sony and EA have said, that since PS4 firmware 1.5 update, the blinking red light has been caused by the console getting too hot.
Right.
So compare that to Red Ring of Death, if you will. And that all the blinking red light means is you should take a break and return once it's had time to cool down. That's the official statement.
That's still worrying. That a new console is already overheating and you sort of have to leave it. Because I know if I got the new console and it basically told me bugger off for a bit while I cool down and have a break, I wouldn't be happy with that. I like to It's like if I'm on the weekend or whatever, I will basically just sit in my room and play games for about 6 hours, like in a row. And I mean, I've not had any problems with overheating on my 360 or anything, and the fact that the next generation are already overheating, that's sort of a bit poor.
That is
from
very
my
worrying.
perspective. I mean, obviously there's going to be technical difficulties. You know, they've not been able to mass test it. Still 0.4 to 3%. You know, that's quite a small percentage. I mean, you know, that is like 97% of the consoles are working fine.
Fine. Let's go statistical average again on that one. Interestingly, though, if you do actually look at the specs, size-wise, PS4 is a lot smaller than the Xbox, which could suggest there's maybe an issue with cooling, as in the air trying to get round to the parts because it's smaller, it's got less fans, stuff like that. Which you even see on PCs. If you don't wire them correctly, wires can get in the way of fans, you block the airflow, suddenly you've got a burning PC next to you. So I
mean, the Xbox One is nearly double the height of the PS4. Actually, looking at it now,
it's a bit scary. I mean, on size-wise,
what would you rather have? A small thing that can't get rid of enough heat so it overheats, or a big one that can get rid of enough heat so you can actually use it? I know which one I'd rather have.
If they can fix the issues with the PS4, I'd go for that on looks-wise. I mean, I'd rather have a small, sleek, angular box next to my TV than a big chunk of, Sega Betamax looking stuff. But, I mean, they do need to sort of get on top of that. Slightly worrying we're having to go back to the days where consoles are getting too hot to be used.
Yeah, it's a bit concerning.
Oh, just a bit. So, we have mentioned the Xbox briefly in that. I do want to look into that a bit more. Or Xbone. Apparently Microsoft will not happy with that name. They would rather you...
trademarked it.
Really?
They have actually trademarked it, apparently. A couple of months.
I prefer you to say Xbox One. But,
what's that?
Fuck their noise.
Someone modifies the Kinect so you can say Xbone on.
That'll be on its way.
Do that. I mean, if there aren't technical difficulties with the Xbox One,
there will be. Come on,
that will surprise me. I'd imagine just on slightly different fronts, just zigzagging all over the place here, because it's launched this Friday globally. It will sell more on day one than the PS4. If it doesn't, there's something severely wrong in the fact that they didn't market it right or something. Because they said, they said, it's DRM. You don't own any.
To which
of your
I
games.
went. I watched that. I watched those two conferences, and after the first one, where they just announced it at Microsoft Campus in Washington, I think. And I got really pissed off. They showed me a console. They then went and talked for 50 minutes of the conference about it being a TV PVR. To which point I literally just turned off the stream because it's a games console. It's not a TV box. I can see why they're wanting to make it. The whole reason of it being called Xbox One is they want to make it into a entertainment system / gaming / twitching streams and stuff like that.
Multimedia twitching.
I just made that up.
Brings to mind the Xbox One just having a mini fit or something.
That's what happens now.
That'll be the tech difficulty. You heard it here first.
But it's like they spent 50 minutes of a stream. They even started going on about Halo's going to have a TV series, not about the fact there's going to be a Halo 5 game.
Well.
I'm putting bets on Halo 5 after E3. So
I think the only thing that could warrant the Xbox One having higher pre-order sales than the PS4, well, obviously it will because it's globally, but the only thing that would make it sell more in the Northern American territories on day one is the fact that, as far as I'm concerned at least, it has better day one exclusives.
Which would
I don't know if you would agree with me on that.
I've got a list of them in front of me now. We're looking at the likes of Forza 5, which I will say is absolutely beautiful.
I'm not I'm not really into that, but I can see a lot of people are upset by that.
From a racer point of view, being mine, I race way too much. It looks beautiful. They've started including F1 licensed cars now, which, when they're being rendered in 1080p at 60 frames per second, yeah, beautiful. What else have we got?
Dead Rising 3.
Killer Instinct.
That looks interesting.
That's another one.
Killer Instinct. That's interesting, because I think I read something. Killer Instinct is you sort of get it as a free demo thing.
Ooh.
But then you can buy the entire game with 6 characters. So that's not... You buy the game, but you only get the 6 characters, but that only costs you $20 US. So I imagine it'd be about 20 quid British as well. I'm not entirely sure. But then you can also buy like a certain edition of it, which gives you all the characters, and it will also allow you to get the future characters that they bring out at a cheaper price. I think that was my understanding of it.
Right. So there you have it. What else do we have? We have Rise Son of Rome. Interesting, that one. Very interesting. Because there's been a little bit of an argument about the whole fact that Microsoft bigged up that all Xbox One launch titles would be running at 1080p and 60 frames per second, and it would look absolutely gorgeous. Well, the developers of Rise Son of Rome came out and went, no, it's not going to run at 1080p. They can't get a game that graphically intensive.
I was going to say, have you seen it, though? Because it does look amazing.
I mean, it does look very good, but they're having, from what I've heard, is that I think it's about 920p or something. It's a resolution like that. And then that's how they process it. That's how it goes through the graphics card and goes, this is how it's going to be, I don't know what you call it, processed. And then as it goes from the Xbox One to the TV, it's upscaled to 1080p, so you can't really call it native, as opposed to Forza 5, which is, when it's processed, it's in 1080p, it's native, there's no switching about. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Also, people were reporting in a test of it, a lot of frame drops and that. I mean, We'll see how that plays out. What else?
It looks like an interesting game, though, because I remember when it was first in development, it was in development as a sort of Kinect game when Kinect first came out. And then they sort of changed it. And then they changed it from a Kinect game to basically just a QTE sim, if you like. And then they changed it from that to sort of like, you control what swings you do, but then to do finishing moves on the enemies, you do a QTE.
So
or just press one button.
It's sort of a half and half then, isn't it, between a QTE and an
it looks like
full-blown Rome.
It looks like it could be some fun.
Oh, I do like the look of it, yeah.
I don't know if I'll get it at all.
I'm not sure it justifies 45 monies.
There have been mixed previews of it. Apparently, some saying it's good, some saying it's bad. So
the final
it's
one
in the eye, I guess.
Yeah, the final one I have on my list here is Fighter Within. Have you heard anything about that?
Fighter Within. I just on my list. I'm just having a look now
because I have heard naff all about that one.
No, it's a martial arts simulator. Apparently.
There you go. Go and do some taekwondo and stuff like that.
Don't know if that'll be along the lines of like a fitness game or a fighting game.
God no.
It's being developed by AMA Limited. Not heard of them. It's been published by Ubisoft, so it'll probably end up being a fitness game.
Yeah, it'll be like what was their last one? Fighter something, trainer. I don't know. Something, horrible. I'm just gonna check, see if there's no other launch titles we've missed. Obviously, you've got your usuals, your Call of Duties, your Battlefields. Did we mention Dead Rising 3?
Yeah, I made
looks
a quick
interesting.
about Dead Rising 3. Again, there's sort of been mixed reviews about that. People who like the existing franchise have sort of said, what the hell have you done to my franchise? Because I don't know if you played Dead Rising 1, 2, and Off the Record.
I haven't. I can't say I have.
Lots. Dead Rising 3 is a lot more sort of gritty and dark and brown colour scheme, whereas Dead Rising 2 and Off the Record, I'm not sure about 1, I didn't play it, but Dead Rising 2 and Off the Record were very sort of colourful, vibrant, very sort of silly, if you like. You could you could basically dress up as a superhero in 2 and ride a child's tricycle and run over zombies on it.
Wow.
That's sort of game. This one looks a bit more gritty, which, if you've not come to the franchise before, it might attract you, but it might sort of push away some people if they're familiar with the franchise before.
Yeah. Some of the other some of the other titles we have, Zoo Tycoon. That was massively bigged up by Microsoft at Eurogamer. I remember that.
Yeah.
They were throwing animals all over the place.
Throwing animal hats, so yeah.
We've also got Peggle 2.
Peggle 2. Oh, yeah. Repping the Peggle 2.
I remember you being a Peggle fan.
Peggle, oh, yeah. Getting the Xbone just for that. I'm not. I probably will get Xbox One.
What about Just Dance 2014 on PS4 and Xbox One? You going to be on that?
Yeah, doing all the latest hip songs.
Yeah, and the other one we've got Crimson Dragon.
Crimson Dragon, yes. That's sort of an on-rails shooter, I've heard it described as. Sort of like you ride a dragon shooting at shit.
This is the blurb from game.co.uk. Take to the silent skies on vast dragons in this beautifully crafted shooter from the creators of Panzer Dragoon and Yukari Fujatsugi.
Yukio Futatsugi.
It went all Japanese on me at the end.
It's like spiritual successor to Panzer Dragoon, which was, I think it was either an old PlayStation. Oh no, there's a comment here. It was a Sega Saturn game, so quite old.
Wow.
But I mean, the graphics look good on it, but it doesn't look like my sort of game, sort of like on rails shooter. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've never really played one. They've always just sort of put me off, I guess.
Yeah. Right, but, this is the bit where I get to nerd out now because I want to talk specs.
I was going to say, yeah, moving to spec corner.
So
that does not stand for special.
Put away. Yeah. If we look at it from
firstly,
okay, you go first then.
Sorry, yeah, I was just firstly, the only thing I can really talk about to do with specs. It's not really a spec anyway. Price, obviously, the Xbox One is $100 more than the PS4, which equates to about 80
£90?
90 quid. 80.
Well, it's 349 for the PS4. And
yeah, so about 350
for the Xbox.
British pounds, not dollars. $499.99 for Xbone, $399.99 for the PS4, but the Xbox One does come with the Kinect, and the PS4 does not come with the camera. That could account for some additional cost.
Although the camera is less than the price difference between the Xbox One and the PS4. I think it's about £60 British is the camera. Don't quote me on that one. Going to specs-wise, there's hardly much difference, to be fair, between the two. On both of them, we're looking at 8-core chips. The PS4 running an AMD codenamed Jaguar chip, running on a 32-bit architecture, whilst the Xbox One is using a Microsoft custom CPU, which we know naff all about. What we do know, though, is the AMD chip, very interestingly, is only clocked at 1.6 GHz, which, if you compare it to, let's say, well, the chip I'm running on my computer here, which is an Intel i5 3 series, which is clocked at about 3.4 GHz. So you do the maths, that's over double the speed in my PC chip, and that only has 4 cores. So
that is concerning.
That is mildly concerning how we basically got mobile speeds.
You're always going to have PCs more powerful than next gen of consoles. When the next gen of consoles are better than a PC that you can get like for less than $1,000, but console gaming will really have matured into the sort of,
But come on, 1.6 gigahertz, which is the kind of speed you get in a mobile. That's where it gets worrying, because how do you process a 1080p game trying to run at 60 frames per second on a chip that's clocked at 1.6 gigahertz? And interestingly, this is definitely confirmed on the Microsoft custom-based CPU. Only 4 cores will be available for gaming, and the other 4 are used for the computing side of the OS. So your Skype running in the background, your Twitch running in the background. So that throws up even more worry, how they're only able to use 4 cores for gaming, not the 8.
I'm concerned about the 4 cores having to be used for the OS, basically. That's basically what it is. It's for the OS.
Yeah, I mean, it's running advanced OS. I mean, I do know that the PS4 is using I read this yesterday. I think it's codenamed Orbis, and it's based on some Linux code. So that's going to be quite powerful. Microsoft will, I would assume, base it on Windows 8, because they want to do everything based on Windows 8. which is bloody disgusting, if you ask me, but hey. Moving on to GPUs, graphics card, or these will be graphics chips. Both of them using AMD Radeons. Interestingly, though, the PS4 will be using a updated version of the current Radeon chip, which will have 1152 shaders, whilst the Xbox One has only 768 shaders. So in theory, the PS4 should be more graphically better.
The PS3 was always, well, in general, it was more graphically better. It was more graphical. Had better graphics than the 360, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's sort of to be expected over again, I guess.
If we turn that into a speed number, PS4 we're looking at 1.84 teraflops per second. Don't ask me what a teraflop is. And the Xbox only 1.31 teraflops. I'm assuming that a higher number is better in that case.
You'd think.
Yeah, you'd think. Moving on to RAM, another slight differentiation. Let's try that again. Differentiation. God, wake up, brain. The Xbox, both of them will be running 8 gigs of RAM. However, the PS4 will be using something called GDDR5, which is a graphical type of RAM which you sort of usually find in your graphics card on PCs. So, like, I know my GTX 650 Ti has like 2 gigs of GDDR5, so there's quite a lot of graphical RAM there. The Xbox, meanwhile, is using DDR3 RAM, which is what you find in a normal PC motherboard, which in theory should make it better at the computing side. So, again, like having Skype open at the same time as a game and having Twitch broadcasting to a remote server. But it won't help as much for actually playing a game. Mildly concerning again. Hard drive wise, both of them.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, you carry on.
That sort of fits with their all-in-one side of things, though, because they're not just marketing it as a games console. I don't know if you've seen the TV advert here, but it's not even all gaming on the TV advert. They even have it
showing you how you can use love film and stuff like that, isn't it? Yeah,
there's a section where where the guy's watching a football match and his team score and he cheers, and then his friend calls him on Skype to cheer with him, because that's what a person does.
That's what you do. Watching a football game.
Yeah, but I mean it shows that they're not just focusing on the gaming side of things, which again is interesting.
Both of them are running Blu-ray/DVD optical drives, which is good. Xbox first time to use a Blu-ray drive, which sort of solves many a problem that I've had trying to play HD DVDs. Both of them have a max 500 gig hard drive. However, the PS4 hard drive is removable and the Xbox One is not. But on an Xbox, you can have external storage via the USB ports included, which you cannot do on a PS4. Power supply. The PS4 power supply is internal, which could contribute actually to the heating problems, I've just thought.
That is a good point.
You think the amount of power the amount of heat that a power supply generates. I mean, our ones and PCs have to have their own fans to keep them cool. And I mean, it still managed to melt yours.
It's like if you've got a laptop, if you're watching this on a laptop or something, just pick up your power supply and feel that does get hot.
Really. I know my MacBook gets really hot when it tries to edit. It's just it can actually be quite painful sometimes.
That could definitely contribute, actually.
So someone ring up Sony about that one.
We've cracked the Da Vinci Code.
We have. The Xbox One, meanwhile, is still an external one, like a power brick, which you see it on some laptops. They have like a converter. I'm just having a look over my Xbox One now. That has a big grey box. So there's that. Both of them do not support backwards compatibility, which is just very annoying. Which means I now have to go and sell my Xbox games.
You'd have thought they'd have learned, let's make this backward compatible.
No, it's them being money grabbing. Come on, because then you can just port everything over. You have to buy it again.
But it's like some of this generation's great games, like the PS3. There was The Last of Us. Cross consoles, GTA 5, Skyrim. For Xbox 360, there was like Halo, Halo 4 and stuff.
Halo 4, yeah.
They're just not. I mean, they can do it because they made Xbox 360 sort of backwards compatible with Xbox One.
Selected, no, Xbox, the
original Xbox. Fuck.
I mean, selected titles. I know, like Hello Combat Evolved just about worked.
Yeah,
there's some other titles.
Like, you'd have thought, because they both know that people are going to want backwards compatibility.
I mean, I can understand with PS4 because they did change the whole coding architecture when they moved over to this Linux-based OS. I remember you telling me once with Skyrim they're having really bad issues trying to patch it on PS3, and that was due to the ridiculously horrible coding system on a PS3.
It was a dodgy port, really.
Yeah,
it was at least for Xbox, and porting to PS3 was difficult. That's why majority of companies coded for PS3 and then ported to Xbox. It was a lot easier.
It's a lot easier. So now PS4 have improved their coding system. They're using a more PC-based one, which is like the Xbox is. As I've said, it runs on a Linux system, which is mildly similar to Windows code. I'm going to go for very mildly there, but enough to make it warranting some kind of porting back and forth system. Final thing, specs-wise, controllers. You can only have 4 controllers at once on a PS4, whilst 8 on an Xbox. However, when would you have 8 people? Yeah,
I don't even have 8 friends. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, it's nice that the Xbox One has something over the PS4, but 8, really?
Yeah.
8 player split screen. What size TV would you need for that? You know.
Yeah. So that pretty much sums up everything that I want to talk about on the PS4. Is there anything else you want to add before we move on?
No, the specs were sort of your sector.
My department. Right, so next thing on the agenda. Oh my god, it's Call of Duty Ghosts. Very long exhale. I will say now.
Will start.
I will say now. I have played Call of Duty, not Ghosts. I played Call of Duty World at War and Modern Warfare 2. After
I was a boy.
And I played Modern Warfare 1, a bit of Black Ops, and a bit of Black Ops 2. And there's one thing that really pisses me off, and that's how repetitive they are.
Have played Ghosts, so this is strictly things we've.
This is opinionated, and I'm using this is what I've seen on the internet. Okay. But it's so repetitive. It's mind-numbingly annoying. It's like, it's here. We'll take 40 quid of your monies for a game. They come back a year later. Here, we'll take 40 quid of your monies for the same game. Another year later, we'll do exactly the same. It's like they're just money grabbing. And how long have they been using the engine that they're using? I'm pretty sure it's been like 7 COD games now that they've used the same fucking game engine. I mean, you'd have some kind of... Was it Unreal 3 engine they use?
I think so.
Which has, like, been used... Jesus, years. Years. It's
I mean, the thing with that, you can really see it. There was this video on Reddit that was posted the day COD Ghosts came out.
Yeah.
A lot of you have probably actually seen it already. I know me and Ben have. It was a video side by side of the final cutscene of the campaign on Modern Warfare 2 compared with one of the first cutscenes of Call of Duty Ghosts, and the animations in the cutscenes were identical, which shows that they were probably still using the same engine as Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, they are. They are.
And
there's no change in engine.
And the asset. And that also shows that they were reusing a lot of assets, which could be interpreted as either them just being lazy or them deciding to focus on other things and not developing.
But what have they changed? What have they actually changed? I mean, they've added like one new game mode.
You can lean.
I can do that on armour.
You can lean around walls. You can lean around walls.
You can do that on Battlefield 4.
There's a dog. There's a dog in it. And
I've got a dog at home.
Fish swim out the way.
Oh my god!
Wait! No, they don't.
That's warranted my 40 quid.
Brilliant picture. There was a brilliant picture on Reddit. I'll try and get it and post it on here. It was the fish was basically like in this guy's mouth. It was so close, and it was like you get better looking things on Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be honest, it was terrible.
With that, the textures on Call of Duty Ghost, they beg a belief we're talking. This is meant to be released on next generation, and okay, I'm going on PC footage here, but this is PC footage running at extreme.
Apparently, on next gen, it is better looking on next gen, but I still don't see. I still don't see how that justifies the several gigabyte install needed, because I'm not going to lie, that install is not full of unpackaged textures from what I've seen.
Going back to PC, I'm going to YouTube name drop here. Please don't kill me, Jason. But I did watch... Please don't. Total Biscuit, his WTF review of Call of Duty Ghosts.
I'd recommend everyone watch that.
This is where I'll learn a lot about Call of Duty Ghosts, and he always tries to aim everything very unbiasedly. Which is what I try to do in life, but because it's Call of Duty Ghosts, that's not happening. He did pick up on the fact there were massive frame drops. We're talking, Total Biscuit has 2 GTX Titans running in SLI, which is pretty much the creme de la creme of graphics cards setups. That would just destroy anything. He was getting about 30 FPS on this game. 30 FPS on 2 GTX Titans. That's just crazy. And also, textures on extreme looked like dog shit. I'm gonna go that far. That's how bad they looked. And this is what really grabbed me. You cannot play the game unless you have 6 gigs of RAM. Where the hell are they being used?
I was just about to say the specs for it. I mean, I've seen the specs on Steam. I just looked, just like, well, I can run it, but...
No, it won't. If you have under 6 gig, it will refuse to start up. I mean, you'd even think it would try and start up and play it. But where the hell are those 6 gigs of RAM being used if you've got frame rate drops?
Fish AI.
Oh,
very complex.
Fish AI and dogs.
And dogs, yeah.
Oh, and falling spaceships.
In before the first DLC for COD Ghosts is dog armor.
Yeah.
And I am calling that.
And the campaign. Since when have America built a missile spaceship and then deorbited it over their own country?
Since when has every South American country got on? It's like, oh yeah, we'll fuse into a giant federation to take down the USA. Bullshit!
Where can they go from this? Because they cannot make another Call of Duty game and expect people to buy it. I mean, we saw the sales figures of this went down. They even try to big it up and try and say they could compete with GTA 5, which nobody can. Nobody can compete with GTA 5 for sales this year. So,
no, definitely not.
I'm out of things to say on Call of Duty Ghosts. My rage has been expelled. Expect more later.
Do you want to move on to
the Antichrist?
the other big FPS.
Battlefield 4
around this time.
Yeah,
BF4.
The Antichrist of
COD.
It's
I'm just gonna take off on this one quickly. Okay, so Battlefield 4. From what I've seen, again, I haven't played it. I know Reese has, and Reese said that it looks amazing.
Well, he was suffering some frame drops, but if it actually looks decent, then I can expect that when they have this Levolution engine and stuff like that.
I mean, at least they've actually made a new engine for the game, unlike Call of Duty did. They've made Frostbite 3, I think it is now, so that looks amazing. I mean, what I've seen of it on YouTube, through like the YouTube rendering and stuff, it still looks phenomenal. Looks better than Battlefield 3.
YouTube rendering is atrocious.
Apparently they've not changed too much gameplay.
That's what I wanted to bring up. There's not that much change.
The online modes are the same. Apparently there's 11 maps now. I think in Battlefield 3 there were 9.
So that's always good. 2 more maps. And also they have announced they're bringing back 4 of the Battlefield 3 maps, being Caspian Border, Operation Metro, Gulf of Oman, and Operation Firestorm. But they're including the Levolution and the next gen stuff. So this amazed me. Caspian Border, you're now able to shoot down a tower whenever you want, and it will look better.
Is the Operation Metro? Operation Metro train comes along? Please tell me it's...
No, there's more tunnels. No, there's more tunnels which collapse and get flooded and stuff like that.
And there are no trains.
It's probably more wrecked trains. What else was there? Caspian Border. They've got like these underground tunnels now with blast doors, so you can. There's more strategic ways to attack. Operation Firestorm. You can now shoot at the refinery and it will explode, creating fire hazards across the map.
That sounds pretty cool.
And the Gulf of
That'll
Oman.
probably cause everyone in the game's FPS to drop to 1.
Yep. And Gulf of Oman, there'll be intermittent sandstorms.
I have actually, I've heard about the Levolution, especially on the Siege of Shanghai map during the beta. The end. People were actually saying, don't destroy the tower, it makes it less fun. And from what I've seen, it does, because the tower, I think it's Sea Point, when you're fighting in sea, before the tower's destroyed, it's actually quite fun, because, it's like multi-levels in the skyscraper.
And also,
when you
bring
destroy
in
the
choppers
skyscraper,
from the side,
Yeah, and it's like, when you destroy the skyscraper, Sea Point sort of just moves and falls down with it. And I can see why that wouldn't be fun. And, like, there's another one where the map gets flooded, and basically for the rest of the map, you have to either swim or use boats, and that's not what I'd play Battlefield for, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. I mean,
I like the
I'm
idea,
definitely. I put it on my Christmas list. That's how much I want it.
I'll get it. I will get it.
I will be getting it and having a go at it, and yeah.
Because Battlefield, I love Battlefield 3. That's fun.
Oh yeah, I really. I bought Battlefield Day 1. I mean, I didn't pre-order it. I went into Sainsbury's on that day, saw that Battlefield 3 was on a discount when you had a Nectar Guard at Sainsbury's. Big up Sainsbury's. There are other shops available. But yeah, I bought it that day, and then ever since I pretty much bought every DLC apart from the last one, just because I was running out of space on my Xbox.
Only DLC I fucking bought, arsehole.
Wow.
So the only DLC I buy for it, no one else gets it. All right then, fine.
Fair enough. Right, I think we're done on that one. Let's move on to another rage-inducing topic.
So your blood pressure is going to be through the roof.
I think I'm starting to get a palpitation already, so
All right, headphone users beware.
Expect a lot of swearing. I'm warming up here.
This is bad though.
You ready for
us? Tell what it is yet? Tell what it is yet? It rhymes with YouTube comments.
Oh, and it also rhymes with Google Plus and ASCII Cox.
Yes.
You guessed it. YouTube comment section has changed once again. My word, what the fuck have they done?
I'm just going to listen.
For people who aren't aware, they've changed the whole comment section now. I think it's about a couple of years ago now. YouTube, Google, they bought YouTube, and they also made their own social networking site called Google Plus. They built it to rival the likes of Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to put, barely social network, because it was utterly atrocious. It was nobody used
10 people that use it worldwide.
I'm forced to have
nine of them work for Google. One of them is mentally retarded.
Exactly, and it's not one of us two, surprisingly. Wow. So they go along. They make Google Plus. Nobody likes it. So skip forward to 2 years. They've already started wrecking YouTube subscription boxes. Not even going to go into that one. It's a rant for another fucking day. But I think, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago now? They turned around, implemented a system where to comment to YouTube, you now have to have a Google Plus account. Why the fuck do I need an account that I do not want, I will not use, to use a site that I like and do want to use? It's like, it's just Google going, nobody uses our product, I tell you what, we'll force them to use it, and we won't let them have what they like until they use our social network. And, I mean, I'm not even going to go, I will never use Google+, it is utterly shit, and, terrible. So this came along, so you now have to use Google Plus to make a comment, which is fucking ridiculous. What they also did, why the hell did they do this? They introduced links onto the onto the YouTube comment section. Links, which you cannot block. Unless you want to type out every single shortened URL and shortened HTTP and .biz.url and .ru and .uk and Jesus Christ.
.xxx.
Exactly. But they're making a new one, .london, .movies, .tv, I don't know, with the launch of IPv6, anything could be a domain name now.
Fun class.
Exactly. So, why the hell would they do that? Why would you go onto a place and go, here, have links, you can now go and spread viruses, pornography, and not even, we're talking horrible pornography, we're talking...
Not even good porn. Not even porn that you can get a boner over. Disappointing.
And I'll let Jason be the judge of that one.
Yeah.
But, you can't go around and start allowing people to post links like that. I mean, I spent £600 on my computer. I would go absolutely mental if I were to click on a link that I could not tell if a virus or not, and I got a virus from it.
I'd...
Well, you'd laugh, yeah, but then that's you. What they also allowed was unlimited character counts. So you can now post a 5,000-word essay about how Google Plus is bad, which I would condone because it's Google Plus. But, you suddenly fill up a massive amount of the comment section with a load of crap that nobody wants to read. Also, unblocking ASCII characters. ASCII.
Some of it is wonderful.
How many ASCII cocks have you seen?
I've seen face palming Picard memes. I've seen ASCII cocks.
I've seen troll faces.
Bedrock of the Earth to the space-time continuum. Troll faces. That's one of the favourites.
Deaf to Google. That's another big. Deaf to Google Plus.
This is Bob and his tank. Help him fight Google Plus by copying and pasting this to 12 of your favourite porn sites.
But what spammers have now caught onto is making something ASCII. I don't know what, Deaf to Google Plus or something. But where it says click to enlarge at the bottom, so you can see the full ASCII picture.
Where it says read more.
Yeah,
yes,
they've changed that to a hyperlink to some shortened URL that gives you a virus.
I mean, to be fair, that's quite smart.
Yeah,
really.
You wouldn't be saying that though, when you clicked on it and got a virus on your... How much did you spend on yours? 700, 800 quid?
Fucking bastards, but fair play to them. It's quite a good idea.
Fair play, yeah.
If you're an asshole and you're trying to give other people viruses, may as well be smart about it. That's what I say.
Yeah.
So now I don't go into the comment sections, because if it was a cesspit before, now it's a cesspit full of dead bodies and cancerous...
The plague. And the bubonic plague. The final thing was now that instead of comments being ranked on the amount of upvotes they have, a bit like the Reddit system, I believe. Please quote me on that one. Now it's done on interaction. So if someone goes to click to enlarge, that automatically gets sent to the top. Which means if someone goes to look at an ASCII thing, bam, straight to the top. If someone goes to look at a 5,000-word essay, bam, to the top. Someone actually clicks on a virus link, bam, to the bloody top. What was going through the person's mind? I slam my
microphone.
No. I slam my hands on the table. No, on my desk, not table.
Anger.
But what was going through the person at YouTube's mind who sorts out the comment section when they went, yes, it's a brilliant idea to introduce links? Eh? I don't have any more to say on that now. My rage is getting too high. Let's move on. Something on a lighter topic, actually. This is a very short thing that I saw yesterday on my phone whilst I browse the interwebs and stuff like that. AMD bring out a gaming tablet, codenamed Project Discovery. Hardly anything known about it. We're looking... it's going to be revealed at CES 2014. I think it's computer... It's an entertainment show? Electronic show or something?
Something like that, yeah. I don't fucking know. I've never heard of it.
So basically, it's a tablet with a built-in game controller, I think, from what I can read here. I'm not too sure what it's meant to be fair.
So like the a bit like the Sony Xperia phone,
but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It would be designed for Windows 8, which we all know is the worst operating system ever. Unless you saw a tablet, then it's okay.
OS.
Yeah, OS.
OS.
But yeah,
Oh,
so that would be what would be running. Primarily sold to rival things like Razer Edge, which is a Windows 7 gaming tablet. Excuse me. And it would be running one AMD's next generation APUs, possibly similar to the Jaguar CPU, but that's unconfirmed as it stands. The other things we're looking at, it'll be using AMD's dot port technology and DisplayPort 1.2, which will allow the AMD powered slate to run on most displays, quoting tweaktown.com here. So that's it on the AMD tablet. When we hear more, we shall bring that to you on a later podcast. I'm going to leave the final one to you, because I know nothing about it. So
I'll just do a...
And I've talked for the last 2 posts, and my throat is now hurting from raging. Jesus.
I'll just do a quick one about this. This is something that I'm pretty excited about. The Fallout 4 possibility website was recently discovered. I think it was found on the 13th or 14th of November. I think it's called Survivor 2299. People were thinking that it was registered by ZeniMax, the parent company of Bethesda, who obviously developed the Fallout line of games, a game that I enjoy. Fallout 3 Vegas, that is. I've not played 1 and 2. I'm too young for those. But people have been... the first person to find this, well, supposedly the first person to find this, posted it to Reddit. It got a lot of attention. Everyone went mental about it because they were like, oh, it's been registered by Bethesda. It will be Fallout 4. And there was a Morse code thing running on it, which when deciphered gave you the American and European version of the date 11th of December 2013, which, in English date format at least, is 11/12/13, as I'm sure you're aware. Bethesda like those sort of dates. Skyrim was launched on 1/1/1. Fallout 3 was announced, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
5th of the 6th, 2007. Yeah, that's when it was announced. So Bethesda like those sort of dates. People have been looking through the code. They've found some file names that are locations near to Boston, which is another rumoured place where Fallout 4 could be.
So what are we looking in terms of file names? Are we important?
There was an MP3. I think it was the Morse code MP3.
Yep.
It was like a random sequence of letters and numbers that no one could make any sense of. And then it was Bridgeport, which is a small town in the state of either Massachusetts or Connecticut, which is near Boston.
Yeah, I know Massachusetts is the same state as Boston, so that would make sense. So
another one that I didn't see this mentioned anywhere else. Actually, I made a post on Reddit about it. It didn't really get much information,
attention.
The file's not on the website anymore. Actually, there was another MP3 that wasn't viewable. It was same random sequence of letters and numbers, and then Hanscom. A quick Google search of Hanscom brought up Hanscom Air Force Base, which again was about 2 miles out of Boston.
Yeah,
and that seems like
Air Force Base. Hanscom.
That seems like quite a sort of Fallout-y sort of thing to have.
Well, you'd expect a post-apocalyptic thing. One of the places you'd go to would be an Air Force Base, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
To get weapons.
I mean, the big sort of it's the sort of conspiracy, if you like. There's a lot of speculation about whether the website is real or not, because there's a countdown timer to the 8 o'clock PM GMT of the date 11/12/13. People are speculating that's when the Spike VGAs are going to be. If you recall, they announced Skyrim 3 years ago at those.
I do, yeah.
And there's a lot of evidence for and against it. Eric Todd Dellums, the voice actor for Three Dog from Fallout 3, I think that was his name. He's been asked multiple times about it, and he's not really giving anything away. He's sort of teasing, but he's not giving anything away. I'd imagine he's probably signed an NSD or something with Bethesda or ZeniMax.
Oh, they'll be keeping it under wraps, though, won't they?
Bethesda have declined to comment, which can be interpreted both ways. Some
look
people
at Take-Two when they were talking about GTA. They always decline to comment on most things. So
that's true.
Are they hiding something?
I mean, it could be by the next podcast. I'll be screaming with joy like a small girl because Fallout will have been announced,
and it
I
will
will be
be one of our top stories.
Yeah, I'll make it so. But I mean, the Fallout subreddit's just been going mental about it. If you're interested, we'll just go to reddit.com/r/Fallout, and that's the main Fallout subreddit. It's just been going mental at the moment. Basically, they've had like 3 threads with like plus 2,000 comments on them about it. It's just crazy.
Brilliant.
But yeah, that could supply more information about it than I can.
Wow, I think that's pretty much everything discussed today. If you have any opinions, then if you have any opinions on anything you want us to mention in the next podcast, please leave a comment below this, as long as it's a mature comment and not an ASCII dick.
ASCII cock.
Or a virus link, which will result in a ban. I'm not tolerating that, so you know.
If you like what we've done in this podcast, let us know. If you liked it, if you didn't, let us know.
If there's anything you want mentioned in the next podcast, like a news gaming news story that's, I don't know, made you discuss about it, made you unhappy, made you annoyed, made you happy, I don't know, give us a shout and we shall look into it. Please don't link into us via comments. Yeah, and if it's a shortened link, I will not go near it. But, you know, hey. But yeah, so thank you, Jason, for being here on the podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it, and we shall see you next month for a bit more of the Open Beta podcast. See you next time, folks.
See you next time.